Are you like coughing and stuff?
Yeah, I have
What is it?
preseason asthma.
We are recording.
We're on? Oh, yeah, we're on.
We are on like Donkey Kong.
All right, let's see here.
Just do a countdown and get it going.
All right. Yeah, let's do the countdown. All right, 3, 2, 1. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Raise the Roofio. What? Podcast, right? That's what it's called, right? I wanted to say Raise the Roof, but it's Raise the Roofio. I love that. JD, the man, the myth, the legend, came up with that. Yeah, congratulations, JD. So we're here on another episode. Don't even know what number this is. 4th, 5th? Maybe. Something like that. But it's
recording and having fun.
Yeah, that's all we're doing, recording, having fun. It is July 9th?
July 10th.
July 10th. I'm sure we'll have a good editing team on this, hopefully one day. But July 10th, we are almost mid-month of July. We still got August and September, which are pretty much our biggest months in the solar industry. Let me see if we can name this. Yeah. Pretty much our biggest months in the solar industry, and really excited about ramping things up. I know JD's got some really great stuff on commercial. Maybe he might want to share later on. And we want to welcome Jeovany to the stage. What's up, Jeovany?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm very excited to be here with these gentlemen, JD, Eric, showing leadership right from the top. I'm so excited to be here. It's my second day. I'm ready to kill it on the field. I can't talk anything less about solar. This is the team where you want to be at, guys. You're seeing it. I'm happy, and I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, we're glad you're here too, man. We're glad you're here too. Glad you're on the show with us. Glad you were able to come to Austin. You're from San Antonio. Are you born and raised in San Antonio?
No, I actually have a little background to me. I was born actually in Nicaragua, Central America. So I speak fluent Spanish, so that helps me on the field a lot, talking to customers in San Antonio. Been here since '84. Been doing sales. I love it. And like I said, I couldn't be in a better place right now. So can't wait to kick this off and keep the ball rolling.
Nicaragua. How long were you there, brother?
4 years.
4 years.
So yeah.
Have you been back since?
No, I have not been back just because, it takes like a whole month. You just appreciate and actually takes about like 3 days just to get down there, so you land and you still have to actually drive to where I'm from. So,
okay.
Yeah, so it takes quite some time to actually have a good time down there. So being in the sales role, you can't really take too much time off because you're putting, too much time off away from your career. But I want to go back one day, so we'll see how it goes.
You have family still there in Nicaragua?
I do.
That you know of?
Yeah, I do. I actually have a couple of aunts and a couple of uncles and stuff, and they actually come and see us. We actually had them come and see us last week. But yeah, I look forward to going back there though, like one of these days.
That's awesome. So after Nicaragua, 4 years old, where did you go there after that? Where did you go after that?
I ended up here in San Antonio.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
I also lived in Iowa, Florida, Nebraska. I actually lived here in Austin as well for about a good 3 years.
Oh, dang.
From 11 to 14 years of age.
So you're familiar with 6th Street?
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with 6th Street.
All right.
You're talking about Trouble Street, right?
Trouble Street, right.
Yeah, we got in trouble last week.
That's because JD passed his audit. Yeah, that's what's up. Well, that's great, man. That's great. Why don't you, we have a lot of people out there in the industry looking for their next move, right? A lot of companies have unfortunately shut their doors. What brought you, why don't we start over I think you started 5 years ago in solar.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that. How did you get involved, and what was your experience getting into the business?
Yeah, so I started hearing about solar a lot, people making money, good money, and I was like, well, if anybody can do it, why can't I not do it? So I got myself into sales, started doing a little bit of research. I found out that you had to have sales experience, which I had, but most companies at the time were looking for solar experience. So I did not have that, but I did have the sales experience, so I took a shot at it and applied for a position as a sales role with a company called Equisolar. And that company was a good company because you learn a little bit from every company, right? So that was my starting point. And then from there, I went, to work for better companies, But I gotta say, like, from day one, Roofio has been the one that has um, ex- actually opened up my heart and wanted me to continue, my career. So
Hey, man.
that's why I'm here, guys. To shine with everybody else on my team, from the back end to the front end. So, but that's my niche. I love talking to people. I love helping people out. I love making great money. But to me, it's all about helping homeowners out, and this is why we're here.
Nice. And some of the things I always kind of like to find out on the front end, working on onboarding and things like that. What was your kind of experience on onboarding through Roofio? Like, was it an easy process, or I mean, we're open for criticism, so
Yeah.
it always helps. So what are some things you like, didn't like, good, bad, ugly?
I can't say anything bad about Roofio right now. The onboarding was smooth. Got my email, my offer sent to me. Everything that they explained to me was on the offer letter. Followed through with my sales director, which is Eric. He actually followed up with me, made sure that I was okay, which I thought, which to me that's a huge plus for this company and for anybody onboarding and wanting to come to this company. You're going to be taken care of. Your leadership's going to always follow up with you. Make sure you need whatever you need is taken care of on a daily basis as well. Cool. So that's why I decided to come here. But everything's been smoothly so far.
Good. Good to know, man.
Yeah, for sure.
It's always good
That
to
is
check
good.
in and kind of make sure that, everything's rolling the way it needs to. And, as you guys know, the public out there, we're big on communication. We give the good, the bad news, whether you like it or not. Sometimes, the bad news, a lot of companies like to mask that, but, I feel like it's better to put that news out to whoever needs to hear it as soon as possible, rather than try to figure it out without the right people or person.
You like to rip the Band-Aid off real quick, right?
There's no reason to keep that thing lingering.
No, for sure. I think that can really harm a lot of relationships.
Yeah.
If you keep some of the bad stuff in the background, you think you're doing somebody well, but in reality, you're just keeping them from the inevitable of what's going to happen if there is anything happening that's bad.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of companies are experiencing that now. A lot of consultants, just out of a job and they didn't even know what was going on, right? Blindsided.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think if there was like some bad, news as a company, it should be shared, even if it's a pro or a con result, right? Like, I'm not gonna say names but some of the companies that are no longer with us anymore, if they would have just maybe prepared some communication or some like offboarding or just some type of information beforehand, I think it really would have helped and not hurt a lot of people.
Yeah, and I can piggyback off of that, JD, and this is why I'm here, because, you are an independent 1099 contractor, when you're in this role, but your support and your back office is your biggest support, right? And I did not have that in my other company, so that's a big reason why I left, because I was doing everything on my own. Nobody would reach out to me. I went through 5 managers, so the leadership role was not there for me. So I'd rather work for a company that has that, that office and that leadership role, and I can always
and support in different areas.
And I can always call somebody whenever I need them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, cool. How as far as like just your background in door knocking and canvassing, how long have you been doing that? And tell us, what you've seen over the last couple years in solar. Has it been getting better, worse? What are your kind of feel?
Yeah, like you mentioned, JD, most companies are in and out, because they're obviously doing something, cutting corners, doing something that's not ethical for our homeowners out there. So you as a salesperson, if you ever come under my sleeve, I will teach you the right way to do things. That way we're not back in that role. But yeah, solar has changed. Before you would get leads, from your company. Now you have to self-generate your leads. You have to go door knock. So it's just a different animal, but at the same time, you have to be a go-getter and have thick skin to be doing this job. But the ones that are willing to take that step are the ones that are going to be successful. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of the successful companies that are in solar right now have some type of direct marketing, door-to-door campaign, because that's the fastest way to talk to your audience or your homeowners is at their doorstep.
Right.
I mean, you're literally going right there and creating business. So, cool, man. That's it's good to know. And you knocked before COVID as well, right?
Oh yeah, COVID was actually the best time for me. Though people might think, yeah, it was the worst time. Hey, everybody was home. You know what I mean? So nobody was going to the store. Nobody was going anywhere.
You had them locked in.
So we had everybody at home. So that was the year that I made over whatever amount of money that I had set myself a goal, to do so, and it was the best time for me. But it was tough, wearing that mask was no fun, man. So but most people wanted you to take it off, but it was just part of a practice that the company wanted us to practice to make sure that you are safe and healthy as well as our homeowners.
Sounds to me like you were able to adapt in an environment that most people weren't willing to adapt in. I think a lot of people gave up. They're just nobody wants to talk to anybody, so I'm just gonna give up.
Yeah.
Like I remember those times. Like I had to adapt, and I used Zoom a lot. A lot of virtual closes during COVID. How about you, JD? A lot of virtual closes.
Yeah, a lot of business was done. That's when Zoom, their stock skyrocketed overnight. But yeah, more people didn't want to do face-to-face anymore, so Zoom was, the next option. But nothing beats like an in-person, face-to-face conversation.
Right.
No matter the ease of a Zoom, I think still being able to be in person is going to be a better, outcome, especially in sales.
Yeah. Absolutely. So out there, we know that you are working on your business, and we support you 100,000%. Today, we're going to go ahead and do some of the top things you can do in the field. Jeovany's going to give us some tips here. He doesn't know that, but he is. Yeah, we're going to put him on the spot. But Jeovany just got started. The other day, he gets on the field and gets 4 leads. Jeovany, you want to share just some tips of how somebody can get themselves hyped up out there. I know you didn't have anybody to go knock with.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people don't want to knock by themselves. I can understand that at some point.
Yeah.
But what gets you hyped up and what gets you out there? And how'd you get 4 leads in such a short amount of time?
Yeah, good question, Eric. So what I like to do is I like to start my day off right with maybe a little motivational video, maybe some little bit of reading, and feel that positive vibe, first of all, in my home, and then filling up my cooler with a couple of waters because it gets hot out there, you know what I mean? And then just listen to good high music before I hit the doors.
Lil Jon?
Yeah, Little John.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Little John's, it works for me. But nonetheless, like, before I get out of my truck, I don't know what it is, but I pray. I pray to the Lord above for giving me the opportunity and for me for being out there to try to make something happen. So that's when I don't do that and I don't pray a little bit, it just doesn't go well.
It's a little bit tougher.
Yeah. So the man upstairs takes care of me, and then I take care of the rest. So what I like to do is just do that little ritual right there and then get myself pumped up and just think positive. Be myself more than likely, more than anything, and talk to people, enjoy what I do, because if you don't enjoy this job, if you don't enjoy your job, you're not at the right place.
Got to do something else.
Yeah, do something else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people wait too long, to do something like that, and then they get themselves into some bad positions, right? So it's like if it's not door knocking, you got to find other ways to grab in leads, whether that's purchasing leads online, whether that's talking to your friends and family and trying to get referrals, right? But today we're talking about door knocking. So number one thing I'd say on a recap, Gio, is before you go knocking on your door, you get into personal development,
Right.
and you get into your spiritual sense, and then you get out there, right? So let me ask you this: do you knock on soliciting doors? That's saying no soliciting doors.
I have before. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. How's that for you?
Those are challenging, but it gets to a point that you just don't want to do it because you're just wasting your time.
Yeah, there's a lot of them now, though.
Yeah, there is.
Well,
There's a lot.
you know that they're buyers, right? Because they bought that sign.
Right.
I heard a lot of water softener people be given those signs.
Yeah, my pitch is like, hey, I'm not selling you anything. I see your soliciting sign, but I'm not selling you anything. I don't even know if you qualify. So
More like a qualifying approach.
yeah, qualifying approach. So I try to use that. But yeah, just to piggyback on what you're saying, yeah, self-development first, and then second and foremost, I say always follow your process. Process is big, so you got to come out with a process. Whatever process whether you write it down and you follow those steps, or you keep on doing what you're doing until you get your niche. So that'll be my second thing. Will be my process.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know. It's been a hot minute since I've been in the doors, but back in the day, I used to knock on doors. More so in security and learn the process. It's all about your process, right? If you're able to stay consistent on a process, then it's just a numbers game.
Right.
So it's how many doors you're actually going to knock on, input your process, you're going to get your output of how many appointments or sales you're going to get. So I always tell the guys, that are knocking, I always ask this question: what's the hardest door to get through? You know what that is?
What's the hardest door to get through? No, go ahead.
The car door.
The car door.
The car door, and it's getting out of the car.
In your own car. Yeah.
So
That's like the gym, right? The hardest thing is getting out the couch and getting in the car door, right?
Yeah. That was that's a fear, right? So that's a fear that a lot of people have to overcome, and that's one thing because all of these were always given to me. I never went door knocking, so I had to get over that fear, but the only way by getting over that fear is by confronting these people, these homeowners. Not everybody's bad. There's very good homeowners. There's funny homeowners. There's jokey homeowners, but there's those mean homeowners too that just ruin your day. Like I'll just give you an example. I went door knocking the other day and I had a dog right there, a big old dog, and he approached me. He was going to bite me, so I had to kick him.
You kicked my dog.
You kicked my dog.
So
I heard that.
it gets tough in the field, man.
Yeah.
You have to overcome your fears.
Did you say you got a gun pulled on you too?
Oh yeah, I had a gun pulled on me too. And I said, "Bye, have a wonderful day."
I remember in Dallas when I was knocking and was in security, and this guy, and I was training this girl, and this guy answered the door, and he had a gun. I ended up selling him, and the selling point on it was, well, hey, who's watching your guns when you're not here? It's only good if it's in your hand and the robbers come. Yeah, when you're not here. He's like, all right, come on in. It's good. So, there's always a way to connect with a homeowner.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, if they're pointing a gun at you to keep going, but what I'm saying is, like, there's always an objection, and objections are usually like smoke screens. And it's not a true objection until there actually is, like, a substance behind it.
Right. Yeah.
So, personal development, number one. Number two, be yourself, right? And then number three, you're talking about just what?
Well, two would be process, I think, and then number three would be yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, be yourself at all times.
Have your process in your mind, number two, because you're just not going to go out there and shoot the shit. Like, you got to have a plan. And I remember knocking with somebody who said, no, the training's not on the field. The training's in the classroom. The training's in the office.
Right.
When you get out of the car and you're on the field, it's game time. That's what you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. You have to sharpen up your knife at all times whenever you're in the office. That's where you put your process together and you feed off of other people's energy and experience in the field. And what are they doing that you're not doing to make yourself better? So always sharpen up your knife every opportunity that you get, and then and then show that in the field, you know. Because sometimes you gotta switch it up depending on the neighborhood that you're in. You know, what we call the hood, whatever hood you're in. You know, you gotta treat your hood differently. You know, you have your high collar, you know, homeowners, and then you have your middle class, and then you have the people that might not even qualify, but you qualify them. You know, the true hood. Yeah,
That's a true hood.
That's a true hood. So yeah, it gets fun out there, guys. But yeah, the overall comes down to just staying positive and be hungry.
I think a lot of times, you know, some people know this, but I knocked 10 years straight in security, and sometimes it became my zen whenever I was going out on the doors, because I knew that it was something that I could control, is my work ethic, my attitude, and then being able to absorb and being teachable and coachable on the doors. So there was nothing else out there but me and the doors. And like I said, the hardest door to get through was the car door. But once you physically like knock on the first door, then it's like jumping in the pool or being in the weight room, lifting your first weight. It kind of naturally goes from there.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of guys that are struggling out there, you know, find your peaceful zen on knocking doors, right? Like, don't forget to smell the roses. Don't forget to look up in the sky and look at the clouds. You know, like sometimes you just have to like know that, hey, I'm a free man able to walk and talk and communicate.
Yes.
And that's where your zen really comes, is being able to take that time of your day and really be able to just be out there and be yourself.
What was that guy's name? Mr. Rogers neighborhood or something?
Yeah, Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers. Yeah, I feel like that. Like when I'm out there,
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
yeah. Well, hey, kids, what's up, man? You know, and just being out there, because believe it or not, people are looking at you.
Yeah.
They're looking at you through the window, seeing what you're doing. They're like, oh, they're scared of you. I think they're more scared of us. They were scared of them. They're like, don't come sell me, please. I don't know what I'm going to do, you know?
You know, and
it's kind of true.
I think that's a good, I think that's a good point that you're saying about people watching you. Because if you're doing the wrong things, somebody's watching, and in neighborhoods now, they have that Nextdoor app, right? They have the Nextdoor app. They have.
It's cool.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. They have their Facebook groups, right? So they'll tell on you.
Yeah.
You know, they'll be like, "Oh, this guy was rude." I mean, I don't know how many times you've knocked with somebody. How many times have any of y'all knocked with somebody, and after they're rude at the door, no, not interested, right? You walk away, and the person knocking with you goes, "Man, they suck." Like, people have cameras now. They can hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right? They can hear everything.
The Ring doorbell is recorded.
So you got to watch yourself out there, guys and girls.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you right now, like, I know how it is. We get frustrated. And if somebody at the door is, like, really rude to you, then, of course, you get upset. But you got to watch what you're saying out there, because you're the one that looks like the bad person in that situation.
It's their house. Like,
it's their house.
Guests on their front step.
And so, got to watch what you're saying, because it could just take that one little thing where they go, I've seen it before in my own neighborhood. They'll take that recording and put it on the Facebook group. Now nobody wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
Right? Have you ever been with somebody like that?
Similarly, yeah, especially when I'm closing and I have a homeowner in front of me, right? And I'm just looking at them like, I'm looking at you, but I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at your forehead, you know?
Yeah.
that's one thing I learned how to do.
Okay.
He's like, Gio, don't even look at them, because the homeowner's looking you up and down to see if you're telling the lie or not, you know? And most of the time, I picked that up from him, and I was just looking at this lady, I was just looking at her forehead and just talking to her. I was like,
smile and nod.
Like, yeah. I was like, okay. When you're just looking at their forehead, answer the questions, and that way you don't worry about them looking back at you, or because there's people that look at you up and down like, what's going on with this guy?
Yeah, and they won't say a word.
Yeah.
You'll be talking the whole time. They're like,
making faces and everything. I'm like, what's wrong with this person? But hey,
It's like,
it's
hey.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Well, that's great, man. I appreciate you sharing those tips with us today.
For sure, guys. Thank you.
You know, is there anything you want to
I
tell?
want to hear your funniest story.
The funniest
Okay.
story.
Or just story in general that you want to share.
At the doors?
On the doors. Something that you've seen that you're like, what the? Like somebody listening. like, if you probably see a lot.
No, yeah, I have seen a lot. I mean, I've had this lady on the radio tell me, "Oh, we thought you were our nephew because you're pretty big in the stomach."
Thanks a lot.
I was like, say that again. and I was like, oh my god, I can't like. And this was all in Spanish, right?
Were you laughing or no?
Yeah, I was laughing. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
What do you do, cry?
Yeah, get mad at her, get in an argument with her.
Yeah, right.
So I was just laughing. I was like, I can't believe this just came out of your mouth. But she got sold, and everything was
That's my grandma.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I had some other like fascinating stories, but that I have to go back and
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah. How about you?
Man, I mean, I've got, besides the gun story that I was able to sell him, what else? Man, I've knocked at a lot of places around the country, so there's different,
People.
well, like, Luke Bryan was actually one of our accounts in Tennessee when I knocked there. I didn't sell the account, but I was the van driver for the rep that sold it.
Oh, nice.
So, we would talk every day. And at that time, I didn't really know, because this was probably like over 10 years ago. I didn't really know who Luke Bryan was, but the rep did. She was all excited and, ended up coming, that was a cool story as far as being able to work that account. Set up a couple of grow houses out in Colorado.
Whoa, cool.
Washington.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did you get a sample?
No. I mean, probably just like being in the vicinity of it.
Yeah.
But people open up their house. I remember going into this guy had a basement of collector items of like space shuttles.
Wow.
Yeah, and like all the NASA, like just like walls full of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's guys that had like Lego basements. Like you see all different homeowners and a lot of collector items.
Some of them like to talk. They like to share things.
Yeah, there was a lady that probably saw this in like one of the magazines that she got a frozen turkey. Somebody threw a frozen turkey off of the bridge, and she was driving, and it like smashed through her windshield, and like she got in a wreck. Like,
So she kept the turkey?
no, she kept the news. She kept the news article of it and showed me, and I was like,
Okay. That was her claim to fame.
Okay, well, cool.
She's like, what turkey hit your car? And you're like, nothing? She's like, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, what turkey hit your car?
There's been some crazy, like, unsafe streets that I probably shouldn't have been on.
Oh my gosh.
That I was knocking in, like, Wine Dance in Long Island, New York. Didn't know that was a bad place until, you see kids riding around on bicycles with machine guns.
What the
Yeah,
heck?
it's a little crazy.
The Brazil? What the
A
hell?
little crazy. What else? No, I mean, it's just a combination of things.
Yeah.
You have people answering the door naked.
Yeah.
I've had that a couple times.
That's crazy.
So,
Sorry. Let me start over. I remember when in closings, right? Because I'm not the best door knocker, right? But in closings, when I would show up and close the deal, I would have a lot of customers offer me dinner. You ever had that?
Yeah.
That's fun. That's cool, right? Like, ooh, what do you got? What do you got? I'm hungry.
The family was eating, and they're like, you want to eat with us?
Yeah.
Dinner?
Wow, that's really cool.
I always say I'll
You
be
still might not get the sale, but
I'll
it's
be your
weird.
entertainment for tonight while we're closing out this
Yeah.
agreement.
Yeah.
So that's my job is to crack jokes.
Yeah.
During dinner. So they would like that.
The customers that amaze me are the ones that are super nice to you, that feed you, that give you water, tea, whatever. And after they're like, not interested. I appreciate it. And you're like, damn, that was going so well.
Right.
But it's all right, man.
Yeah. Well, I heard people don't buy from their friends.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah.
Unless you've already signed the agreement and then you start being friendly, it's a little harder. It's easier to say no to a friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You gotta be careful, right, on how friendly you are.
Yeah. Get down to business first, and then
Like that.
open the friend card and build.
That's a gold nugget out there, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? On our next podcast, we need a little horn, like the gold nugget or something. I don't know, or some like money sign, cha-ching, gold nugget or something.
We should have that doorbell.
Yeah, something.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, well, that was great. JD, is there anything else you wanted to share?
No, we're still working on our event that we're going to be having. I know we talked about it last time. You want to talk a little bit about? We're actually going to
Absolutely.
right after this podcast here.
Absolutely. On the next podcast, you will see a lot more information. But right now, we have a tentative date for a home services summit brought on by Roofio, where it's going to be Saturday, September 28th, a full day of training here in Austin, Texas, at the beautiful Omni Hotel where our offices are at. There's a great event area, rooftop pool area. It's beautiful. And if you are out there and if you have an HVAC company, air duct seal type of company, energy efficient, any type of product that might, help out with the homeowner. I don't care if you do fences, I don't care if you mow lawns, home improvements, home services, anything. Come on out and join us. Again, we're going to give you some more information. If you want, some more information, hit us up on the comments and, on this video. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We plan to have a full day of training from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and possible, fun event day after that Sunday. Maybe do something. We're going to get that all together and we'll get you the details. But put that in your calendars for now. Tentative schedule Saturday, September 28th. You don't want to miss it. We're going to have a lot of you here.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're signing off. We'll see you guys on the next podcast and episode. Hey, thanks, Gio, for being out here.
Thank you,
Appreciate you.
Thanks, Gio.
And, we'll see you guys.
Take care, guys.
And we're out. All right.
That was good.
That was good.